Hello everyone, welcome back or welcome to the channel. My name is T and this is my channel, Crumpets, Tea and Sewing. Thank you so much for tuning in, and for those of you who are new to the channel, welcome to the channel. For those of you who are returning, thank you so much for your support, and if you are not subscribed to the channel, please make sure that you subscribe and push the notification bell so that you can receive notifications of all my videos. Before I get into the video, I'm going to quickly tell you what I am wearing. This is the Simplicity, this is the New Look 6434 pattern. I did a pattern review of this before on this channel, and I used a floral blue and yellow crinkle cotton that I purchased from Joann Fabrics, and you all loved it. I did the variation with the ruffle on the sleeve. Everybody else loved it, but for some reason I wasn't feeling the ruffle on the sleeve. And so I did make the pattern again, and this time I used this gingham fabric that has a lace bordered detail, and I feel like having the sleeves just flat, so I chose sleeve D for this pattern for this second attempt. And I really like the flat sleeve with no ruffle and lace on the bottom of the sleeve. I just think that it is better like that, and I like the detail of the lace instead of having the detail of the ruffle. So yeah, it's a plain little top. If you want to see the full review of that, I'll put that link in this video and you can go over and watch that. All right, so now on to the pattern review of the Simplicity S8927. This is a pattern that just came out this spring of 2019, and it features two separate pieces. So you have variations A and B is a top, a little cute little halter top. It has a tie detail in the front and buttons going down the center of the garment. And then you have views C and D, which is a skirt. So you can do a short skirt that comes up to the knee. It's a knee length skirt, or you can do a midi skirt that basically comes down to the middle of your calf, the calf area. So I chose to do the knee length skirt, and it was a relatively easy make. I know Mimi G has a tutorial on this for both the top and the skirt on her channel. However, when I made this skirt, the tutorial was not out yet. So, and honestly, the make is so easy that I would not have needed the tutorial anyway. I would say that if you're a beginner, you might want to go over and watch the tutorial if you want to make this. But for a committed advanced beginner or intermediate sewist, I don't think you'll need the tutorial, but it is always nice to watch those tutorials just to see what you're getting into before you actually jump into the project. The skirt consists of, I want to say, 8 or 9 pieces. You have the skirt, the left skirt front, the front skirt, the right skirt front, the back. You have front facings, you have the waistband, and then you have let's see, I think that's about it. And it features button details. So you would put 2, 4, 6 buttons going down the length of the skirt. I really enjoy sewing this. The only issue that I had with this pattern is that, so I'm the type of person that looks at the diagrams, I look at the illustrations and the line drawings more than I actually read the words. And so the line drawings really threw me off, because if you look at the line drawing on the back of the envelope, you'll see that there's no center seam in the back of this garment. And that really threw me off. You do have to cut out 2 pieces. Also on the cutting, the cutout or the cutting guide layout, It also is a little bit confusing because I believe, let me make sure, but one of the reasons why I was really confused during the mock-up phase of this is because the cutting layout basically have you put your skirt on the fold. So if you see here for view C, the skirt is put on the fold here. So here's the fold of the fabric and the skirt is put on the fold. And it doesn't tell you not to cut that piece into, you know, 2 sections. But for your back, you do need 2 sections. I did not know what was going on. So as you can see here, that's the back and it has a seam. So I was really confused and I didn't understand why that back piece, which is number 9, why that was placed on the fold of the fabric. And because of that, I made a mistake and I cut that piece on a fold. And then when I got to the point in the directions, well, I didn't read the directions until the skirt was like not fitting well on me. And I'm like, okay, well, the finished measurements, based on the finished measurements, I should be fitting this skirt. And based on the waistband measurements, I should be fitting this skirt. What is going on? And so I had to go through the instructions, and then I found out that yes, you have to cut that piece out twice. You do not cut it on the fold. And so because of the line drawing on the back of the envelope and also the cutting guide layouts, I was confused. I cut out a single piece for the back instead of cutting it out twice. And I didn't have that back seam, and that's why it was too big. It was because I didn't have the seam allowance there. I didn't take out that seam allowance because it was on the fold. So that's something that I would say you should look for. If you're going to make this skirt, make sure that you do read the instructions before you make the skirt, and that you cut out 2 pieces for your back piece instead of cutting out that piece on the fold, because you will be just as confused as I was. So other than that, I didn't have any issues with this pattern. I absolutely love this pattern. I love the style of the pattern. I had plans to make another one, but because I want to enter in a few challenges, it's on the back burner right now, but I am going to make several of these. It's very easy. Like I said, it's a quick, easy sew up, and I would recommend this to advanced beginners or someone who is above in their sewing journey. As far as my fabric choice, I went with a bottom weight fabric from Joann's, from their sportswear section. It is this cute blue, white and red floral design. It has a little bit of stretch in it, not much. It has, I want to say, about 2% spandex. I can't remember the exact information on the fabric, but I will put all that information in the description box below, as well as where I got it. And you can go to the Joann sites and see. It's usually on sale. I think I got this when, I think it was about 1.5 years ago, or 2 years almost, I think, when it first came out. Joann's had their bottom weight fabrics, their sportswear fabrics. They were selling them for like $4.99 a yard. And I picked up several different key pieces from their sportswear selection because they were so cheap at the time. So I didn't spend that much on this project. I would say maybe $10 at the most. It's a really nice, cute skirt. I didn't find the buttons, the type of buttons that I wanted to use for this project. So I just went with some plastic cheap buttons that were like, I think $1, maybe $2 for a pack of buttons. And I'm thinking about swapping those buttons out though, as soon as I can find the buttons that I like and the buttons of my choice. But yeah, it's a very easy make. Really love it. Love this pattern. So happy that Mimi G came out with this pattern. So here are my final thoughts and review of this pattern. I really love the pattern. I love the details. I am a sucker for button down or button up skirts. It's just one of the things that I really love. I'm so happy and pleased with this pattern. The only issue that I had is with the cutting guide layouts, as I mentioned before, but other than that, it is a beautiful pattern. Very, very easy instructions, easy to read instructions, great pattern for an advanced beginner and anyone who falls above that category. The only thing that I want to mention real quickly here is the other detail. It has a pocket detail in the back, but I did not include the pocket detail. I omitted that because I just couldn't find the fabric that I wanted for it. I just felt like if I would have went with the similar fabric, that the pockets would have blended into the skirt and it would not have made any sense to do that. And I couldn't find a contrast color that was suitable for this particular to match this particular fabric, so I decided not to do the pockets on the back. But as I mentioned before, love everything else about the pattern. Great pattern, and that is my final recommendation of it. And thank you so much for tuning into the channel. I hope you enjoyed this sewing pattern review, and until next time, stay creative.